Hey, I'm Nick.
And I'm Allie.
And this is But Have You Tried from the David A. Howe Public Library. Special Summer Reading Program edition, Unearth a Story, with our old friend Eric Mikols.
Hi.
Eric, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
That was so demure.
Oh,
that
thank you.
was so
polite.
Yeah.
Polite. It really was. I was surprised by it. Eric, I want to know, since you're out of the game, since you're out of the biz, are you participating in any summer reading program situations where you are?
My local library is not as cool as the David A. Howe Public Library.
I mean,
how could it
come
be?
on,
That's
come on.
asking a lot.
I get it.
But my kid is doing the summer reading program. It's one of those things where, like, every 30 minutes he gets to color in half a dinosaur, and once he has the whole thing of the dinosaurs filled out, he gets to put his name in for a prize.
Okay.
I haven't
Nice.
seen. I think
All
it's
right.
just like one prize. It wasn't like that freaking prize wall that we used to put together.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. We've been rocking it a little differently this year, where we're pulling a name from every week and giving like a weekly prize, and then we have some grand prizes for the kids. And Allie has an assortment of teen prizes plus like little self-serve. You know, one ticket, get this weird pair of socks, which the socks have been a hit.
I know.
think.
It's going crazy.
Yeah.
People love socks with Cheez-Its on them. That's all I have to say.
I don't think that I've ever, like in my adult life, participated in a summer reading program. I know the first library I worked in, I did their winter reading program, and I still have the mug. But I tried recently because my son is in a camp this week in another town, and so I have a library card in that system. And so I was like, "Oh, I'll go to the local library and I'll do the summer reading program. I'm eligible." And I went in, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't have an adult summer reading program."
Oh my god.
Summer.
Come on.
Give adults something.
Come on.
Yeah.
Eric, this has been I'm kind of glad you're far away and not seeing just how dino heavy these last couple of weeks.
I've already seen pictures of the inflatable dinosaur.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not very fair, but whatever.
No, it's not. It's not. It's really not. It would be like if I left and there was a Star Trek themed summer reading program. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah, not even
But,
space. It was specifically Star Trek, the original series. Next gen
Yeah.
need not apply.
That's right. Yeah. But I mean, it has been fun. Obviously, it's such a fun theme. I feel like kids are really enjoying it. And, you know, it's been dino-rific. And we knew that kids were going to love the big footprints that we spray painted coming in. But like watching adults be like, dino footprints has been pretty fun, pretty wholesome overall.
One guy came in and he came up to the desk very seriously and he says to me, he's like, I'm afraid I have to tell you something. And I was like, okay. And of course, like that can mean anything, right?
The scary
I'm like,
part.
oh no.
I know.
The scary
And
part.
he's like, I don't want to scare you, but I think there's a dinosaur around here somewhere. I saw its footprints on the sidewalk. And I was so taken off guard because I was truly expecting this to go like some terrifying direction.
Yeah.
But I was pretty amused by that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you, Eric, but we searched the internet. We scoured. Well, you were helping me look
I
for
was
things.
trying to
So I
help
guess
you
you
find
do
some inflatable dinosaurs. Yeah.
could not find anything that was not like if you wanted him to have like a Christmas tree or like a menorah or like a pot of gold for St. Patrick's Day, definitely.
We really should have gone with the menorah.
We should have gone with
that.
the
Sounds
menorah. You're
pretty
right.
rad.
I would love to know why a dinosaur is celebrating Christmas like millions of years BC.
I mean, if the Flintstones did it, I don't see why
That's true. Yeah.
couldn't. But
They believed in the promise of
Yeah.
Abraham.
that's right. The end of this story is that the dinosaur has a giant jack-o'-lantern that we just shoved in its mouth and taped the mouth shut.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
So- And honestly, I don't think anybody's asked why he's wearing a witch hat. I think they just come in.
They're
and
just like, oh, a hat.
they're like,
But
yeah,
a
he's
couple
wearing a
people
hat.
have asked about the like little bit of orange in his mouth. But most of them are like, oh, is he breathing fire? And I'm like, yeah, he's
Yeah, he's
breathing
He's
fire.
one of those
Yeah.
fire-breathing dinosaurs.
Common fire-breathing dinosaurs. Well, I mean, this was an obvious pick this time around. And Eric, thank you for suggesting Jurassic Park and the Jurassic Park world. I was trying to remember. I know we did a couple of all the book shows. Well, we did many Michael Crichton episodes, some better than others.
We did a Jurassic Park episode, I'm pretty sure, as well as the Michael Crichton one.
Yeah, we did one called Jurassic Paul, where you just riffed about Jurassic Park, and I just talked about Paul McCartney.
That's
We
right.
did that one time.
Yeah, that was an early prototype for the Have You Tried?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Jurassic
you're
Park
right.
is great, but have you tried the Beatles? Shut up! Have you tried Jurassic Park?
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
planted pilot. It was a planted
Nick
pilot.
and I have seen 2 Jurassic movies in theaters together. We saw
Yeah.
Jurassic Park in 3D when it was re-released in
Right.
whatever year that was, 2013, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
And then you and I went to go see Jurassic World because my wife was in Florida.
Right.
I mean, I saw it 2 more times after that.
Yeah. No, I remember that very well because I was like, this is a stressful undertaking, to introduce Eric into the new world of Jurassic Park. I just didn't know if I was up for the task.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right.
I think
Is he gonna like this movie? Will he think the effects aged? Yeah.
I didn't know. I knew emotions were gonna run wild. I just didn't know which direction.
You sound like my mom in 1993.
Very scary. What? Oh, okay. All right. Well, Eric's mom bought me Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends on DVD. It was bootleg, so she committed a crime for me, and so I know. So I'll never forget that act of kindness from her. All right. So usually what we do is whoever picks it, the other person has to give the facts. So Allie's got some Jurassic Park facts, which again, I'm glad that it's you and not me. I don't want to be telling out Jurassic Park facts.
Well, if there's anything that I'm missing or wrong about, I'm counting on you, Eric, to fill in the listeners.
Listen, he literally wouldn't be able to help himself, so it's really no problem. But go ahead, Allie. Hit it.
Jurassic Park is a 1993 film. That's before I was born. Directed by Steven Spielberg. And written by Michael Crichton and David Koepp.
He also wrote what? Crystal Skull, right? Isn't that the one that the Indiana Jones?
He's worked with Spielberg before.
I can see that
because we did.
That's kind of that's kind of.
He just came back to do Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yeah, I saw that when I was gathering my facts.
All right, continue.
Okay, this is based on the Crichton novel of the same name. And something I learned while I was researching that I thought was kind of interesting was that Universal bought the rights to the book before it was even published. Which I feel like is crazy.
Crichton and Spielberg were like kind of chums, and I'm pretty sure Crichton like was telling Spielberg what he was doing, and Spielberg was like on the phone like, "We need to buy this."
Yeah, that's kind of amazing. And I mean, it makes sense. Like this is, I feel like, so movie adaptable that it makes sense that they would want to jump on that. The film stars Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and Richard Attenborough.
The late Sam Neill, as very recently
passed just passed away. Yeah,
I've seen a bunch
of shock.
People online being like librarians being like, "Wow, this is so sad."
It's sad because he had actually beaten like a really horrible type of blood cancer.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So now he died from something else. It's rough. Yeah. Richard Attenborough's been gone for a while.
Yeah.
I figured that was probably the case.
His brother never going to die. David Attenborough is.
Yeah.
He better not.
Still narrating everything. Yeah. Do you know what Sam Neill movie I like is The Dish? Do you remember that one where he's
pretty funny? Yeah.
Yeah, where they're like tracking something in space and they have to go to Australia. I don't know. I feel like that's not one that gets name dropped a lot, but
it's great.
I like him in that. I like him in Wimbledon. He's a great actor. Sorry, continue.
Okay, I got more facts. The dinosaurs in the original were created with a mixture of life-size animatronics and some CGI.
I thought it was mosquito DNA in fossilized Bamberg.
Yeah, no, they just say that it's animatronic for like legal reasons.
All right, okay.
The film was the highest grossing movie of all time until the release of Titanic, which beat it out. In 1997, the second movie, The Lost World, was adapted from a sequel novel of the same name, and then followed by Jurassic Park 3 in 2001, which from my understanding was not based on another Michael Crichton novel. They just went rogue and were like, we're going to keep going.
After The Lost World, they kind of just started picking and choosing pieces that hadn't been adapted from the previous two books.
Right. That makes sense.
So the aviary scene in Jurassic Park 3 is kind of lifted from the first book.
Yeah, and that's kind of the highlight of that movie. Also, I feel like that's a cool scene. What's it the thing in Rebirth? They used some in Rebirth too, right?
It was the river raft.
Right.
With the T-Rex, that was in the very first book and never really got adapted in any way.
Do we know if was Michael Crichton chill with that? Was he like, oh yeah, sure, take the other stuff and put it into a movie, or was he like, why are you guys going rogue?
No, I'm sure he was happy to get the royalty checks.
Yeah,
I mean that's fair.
I think he had said that The Lost World was kind of hard to write because he had said everything he wanted to say in the first book. And he was writing the second one kind of out of obligation. So I think he was probably okay.
It was interesting too how The Lost World book is more of a sequel to the movie than the first book, like with some of the character things that happens and stuff like that. Sort of it's kind of a weird sideways things. Yeah, Michael Crichton had that distinction at the time when Jurassic Park came out that he had the #1 book. I don't remember what it was at that time. What would it have been, Eric? 94?
If it's 93, I don't know. Was that Disclosure?
Might have been. But he had the #1 book, he had the #1 TV show with ER, and the #1 movie with Jurassic Park. And I don't think that feat I don't think that's ever been. I can't imagine that being topped again and before. So pretty amazing. All right, is that the no, there's more.
Okay, so and then 2015, a second trilogy, Jurassic World, started coming out with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in then 2018 and Jurassic World Dominion in 2022, and then most recently Jurassic World Rebirth, which is not related to the previous Jurassic Worlds. Is that correct?
I mean, it's related in that all the movies have happened, but there's no returning characters or anything.
Okay, and that came out in 2025. And then there have also been several animated series by Lego and DreamWorks, as well as a bunch of comic series, board games, and video games, which that makes perfect sense to me. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. Anything else? That was pretty comprehensive.
Jurassic World Evolution, the video game, I have one of like Steam will give you achievements when you complete stuff on there. One of the very rarest achievements I have is from Jurassic World Evolution. I don't even remember what it was. It was like have all the dinosaurs, but also have done all this, and so yeah. I've also played some of the games.
Yeah, we watched Camp Cretaceous with my son a little bit, and he and I went to see Rebirth together. That was like his first. I think my wife had shown him the original, but that was his first like Jurassic Park in theaters. Is that one still Jurassic World, or did they change it back to?
They called it World still.
Did they? Okay.
Even though it went smaller and back to kind of like a park setting.
Right. All right, Allie, tell me your first introduction, like when you became aware of Jurassic Park as a concept. Anything about it?
Okay.
Was it when Eric sent that clip?
No.
Okay.
Although that has happened sometimes. Yeah. I remember being a child and Jurassic Park being like one of the movies that people would talk about as like a big classic movie that everyone knew about. And I remember it often being like not necessarily compared to Jaws, but like coming up in the same conversations as Jaws of like, oh, there are these movies, there's animals, it's kind of scary but kind of fun. That sort of like category. And it was one that people talked about a lot, and we never watched it growing up. I don't know if my parents have even seen it or not, because we never even really like talked about it. But it was something I was aware of, and I was like, probably that's scary because I was a child. And then like in theaters, I would often see, like in the last 10 years or however long it's been, I've often seen like trailers for the Jurassic World movies and been like, oh, look at that.
So you saw the trailer for Fallen Kingdom with the baryonyx, and you're like, no.
Forget it.
Baryonyx is nice, but it's still not enough to get me in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think when I started seeing those trailers, I was like, oh, well, like this looks fun, I guess, but like I don't know Jurassic Park or anything. You know what I mean? So I wasn't like, I don't know. It didn't occur to me like, oh, I could go see these movies, because I was like, well, clearly I would have to have seen Jurassic Park. But it also didn't occur to me like, oh, I could just watch Jurassic Park and then go on from there.
No, they're not the MCU. You can dip in and out if you want from certain ones.
You have such a low threshold for things that are like scary or disturbing. I wondered if that was your reason for not watching them.
Well,
I mean, were you like,
I feel like there's also a thing of like I've always had like a fairly low tolerance for like scary and disturbing things, especially like body horror type stuff. Except for when I was a small child and I wanted to be a doctor and I was like obsessed with anatomy and not grossed out by any of it. That was like a brief period in my life. I know, fascinating, right?
Yeah.
But so like I think because I became aware of these movies when I was a kid, and I probably would have been like scared and freaked out by them, sometimes like certain stuff that like when I was a kid I was like, oh, this seems scary, or that my parents were like, oh, you probably wouldn't enjoy this, then I like it never occurs to me like, oh, that was like 2 decades ago and probably I could handle it now. Like I didn't touch the like series of unfortunate events books for like years and years and years until I was like an adult, because my parents were always like, no, we're not going to read those, like we don't want to read about sad things happening to children. And eventually I was like, I'm in my 20s. Probably I can read those if I want to. And I feel like it was maybe a similar situation with this of like, I just had an idea of what it was from when I was a kid, that it would be like scary or upsetting or something. And then I like never reevaluated that idea.
So there was never anything like one of the Lego shows or a game or anything like that you picked up that was Jurassic Park? Like nothing. Okay.
Nope.
All right. Interesting.
None of the toys. Yeah.
Do you know what it was for me, Eric?
For you, it was like your first interaction?
Yeah.
I mean, was it the Sega game?
It's like neck and neck between the Sega game and the Weird Al.
Yeah,
Because I think that was technically
What's
first.
The Weird Al parody?
Weird Al has a song too. Someone Let the Cake Out in the Rain. Do you know that song?
Yeah.
It's a Jurassic Park parody. That's the plot of Jurassic Park to that song.
Yeah, the song is just called Jurassic Park. It's Jurassic Park is frightening in the dark.
I'm actually surprised that I have not encountered that.
Well, maybe if you heard it, you'd be like, oh.
Maybe I would.
It's from the Alapalooza CD.
And the cover art is very like Weird Al in the classic Jurassic Park, like our Unearth story shirts, but Weird Al and
that makes sense.
Alapalooza.
Yeah, so it's probably one of those, he just recaps the whole movie's plot. Songs.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably good that I didn't see it, so it wasn't a spoiler.
So you think it's the Alapalooza CD or the Sega Genesis game?
I think I heard the CD first, but the Sega game was maybe my favorite like Sega game as a child. Because it was so cool because you could choose whether you wanted to play as Grant or if you wanted to play as like a raptor.
Oh.
And the game was very different either direction.
No, I can see how that would play out very differently.
Yeah. So I beat it both ways, and there was certain like 4NNB20A8 is how you get to the boat level in the Sega Genesis Jurassic Park. I mean, I just played it constantly. So like I feel like I knew the beats of the movie and just never watched it. And for no reason. I was never like, I shan't watch Jurassic Park. I just didn't. And on our honeymoon, we were at Universal Studios and we rode on the Jurassic Park like boat ride. Yeah. And Hillary was like, "Oh, I love this movie," and I was like, "I've never seen it," and she was like, "What?"
So she married you, not knowing that.
No, she didn't know.
Yeah. You should have asked that question
because for her, like she saw it when she was like slightly too young to see it. Like they went to the drive-in, she sat on top of an Astro van and watched Jurassic Park, and then drove home in like the dark winding roads in those seats that faced the back of the van, so she could just like see. And she and her twin sister were like freaking out about dinosaurs and stuff. So she has this very real nostalgia for Jurassic Park. And I was, married and a full-grown adult. And I feel like I'd already read the books. Like, I think I read the books before I ever saw the movies. And I love the books. I mean, I think the books are great. So I guess that's it. Yeah. But it really wasn't until I was, in my early 20s. Can you imagine? When I watched Jurassic Park for the first time.
Hey, I'm in my mid-20s.
That's true. You've crossed over. Yeah. The aches and pains are coming, sister.
Yeah.
So what about you, Eric? I mean,
life while you can.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, you've heard this story like 8 times in life,
but I want to hear it again.
And I've never heard it.
Allie's never heard it.
So, as a kid, I was like already super into dinosaurs. So, Jurassic Park was an easy sell for me. It wasn't like I saw Jurassic Park and then I was like dinosaurs. So I was at the mall. It's not a mall anymore. With my mom, and I don't remember what we were doing. She was shopping, and I was like, so this would have been like 92, most likely, like 92 or early to 93. So I mean, that's me at like 6 or 7, and we're walking, and the mall has printed. I don't remember if they were stickers or printer or what. It was just T-Rex footsteps, and they were leading into a store, and like. It's a good thing my mom had my hand at the time because she would have lost me. But all it did was lead to like a clothing section in a store with like Jurassic Park shirts and stuff. But they had the trailer playing on. And like I didn't know anything about it. So I'm just like watching it and like I barely understand life at that point. So just like watching what this is and that was the trailer that didn't really show too much dinosaurs. It was kind of like, what is this? And then I ended up having, before I got to see the movie, I had the comforter and the sheets and the pillowcase. I still have the comforter. I'm going to give it to my sister-in-law to repair, actually.
Nice.
It's pretty great.
Can she fix my Spider-Man comforter? Because I have a Spider-Man comforter.
Sure.
All right, I'll bring it down.
Bring it to Chicago.
Okay.
And then played some of the video games. I didn't get to see it in theaters because my mom thought it was going to be too scary. I guess because I'm the oldest, and so she didn't understand that yet. Because like nothing would have scared me of that. Like when people get eaten by dinosaurs, I'm cheering. Like
ghoulish. All right.
I got to watch. I had to stay up one night for. I think it was to see if I was still having epilepsy. I had to like take a medicine and then like stay up until midnight. So they rented Jurassic Park and let me watch it.
Okay.
So, but I have seen all the others in theaters since.
Okay. So The Lost World was the first one you saw in theaters then?
Yeah. Oh man, and The Lost World, like the build-up seeing the movie in theaters and like post was like the height of like childhood for me in a lot of ways.
Okay. All right.
So, I was so excited.
I never was interested in dinosaurs, so maybe that was part of it.
That's true. I don't think Nick can list his favorite dinosaur.
No, I locked it in.
Yeah,
I locked it in.
Because we were sharing, like, doing this little like series of like, here's the staff members. I don't remember what did you say, but so he had to come up with something for that.
Yeah, I think in the past I've said Stegosaurus, which is still it's solid.
I mean, it's a good one,
but that just wasn't what I was feeling this time. So
just a good boy that likes the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good boy that likes the sun.
When I was a kid, I had this very large plastic, I think a Brachiosaurus, and its name was Platypus, like that was its given name. And I took it everywhere with me, and so we'd like be in the grocery store in the checkout line or whatever, and I'd be holding it, and the cashier would be like, "Oh, what's your dino's name?" and stuff like that, making conversation with the kid, and I'd be like, "Platypus," and they'd be like, "That's not a platypus, that's a dinosaur," and I'd be like, "No, Platypus is its name."
How did that happen?
I understand. I don't know. I also really liked platypuses. Like that was also an obsession. So I don't know why I was like, yeah, clearly that's a proper name.
I had an imaginary Allosaurus friend in first grade, so it wasn't really a friend. It couldn't talk. It was a pet kind of situation.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's cute. So Allie, you probably have never. I'm trying to think when you would have come across a Michael Crichton thing.
I eventually somehow learned that Michael Crichton wrote the book based on that the movie Jurassic Park is based on. I don't know when or how I discovered that.
But you never accidentally watched like Timeline when it was on TV or Sphere when it was on Netflix?
I feel like Timeline feels like something that would be rolling on a Friday night movie in your house.
I don't recognize the name of it, but it's possible.
The Andromeda Strain's a weird time.
Yeah, but ER, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I really can't.
He died in 2008, so it's not like. Did you watch Westworld on HBO?
I don't think so.
Okay, you would know.
Like it's ringing a bell, but I don't think so.
Oh, it's a show. You would know if you watched Westworld.
So nothing Michael Crichton or anything like that. All right. So what did you do this time? Eric listed several movies. What did you do?
Okay, so I watched the original Jurassic Park movie. Okay. I watched The Last World, and I watched the first Jurassic World movie.
Okay.
I also want to watch the Rebirth one because I am curious about that, but I didn't have time.
Hey, guess what? Those three you listed are my three favorites of all of them. So congrats.
Perfect.
Success.
That's how it worked out. Eric, when was the last time you read the books?
Last time I read the books?
Yeah.
I'm still at the library there.
Oh yeah, that's where we work.
Yeah, maybe like 2018 was the last time I cracked them open.
Yeah, I remember you doing it. I just
Well, maybe I read the first one again recently, but I don't think I did the second one because I remember the last time I read the second one, I was like, boy, Anne Malcolm really is annoying in this book.
It's a lot. It's a lot of Malcolm.
Crichton likes to use the he'll like say something, and the person will be like, "What are you talking?" He's like, "Well, let's just wait and see." And then it's like 3 chapters to get to the point, and it happens a lot in the Lost World book.
I'm going to say a spoiler about the end of the Jurassic Park novel, so everybody just gird your loins. But
spoilers!
Malcolm dies in the book.
Oh.
He dies in the book. And then the second starts up, and they were like, just kidding. People thought he died, but he totally didn't.
That's
and then
crazy.
So do you think that's because they wanted Goldblum in the sequel? I mean...
because like... He dies, like, and he doesn't die by getting eaten. He dies from blood loss and everything. He's on, they're giving him opium, morphine to help him through, but then eventually he dies. And then the second book starts. He's like, the doctors worked wonders on me. It's like,
But I always felt that was kind of cheap because his whole thing is like chaos and chaos theory, and you don't know what's going to happen. And so like him dying, I feel like plays into that is like narratively more satisfying. But
don't really I mean, there was time between it all, so maybe the movie came out in 93, Lost World came out in 95, and the movie came out in 97. So like, they might have been talking about Goldblum. Maybe he was like, I just want to write more Malcolm if I'm gonna write a sequel at all.
Yeah. Well, and like I could see there being a way to like make it so you would think a character had died and bring them back, like especially in this kind of story, and have that feel right. But I feel like it's hard to make that feel right if you weren't planning that was going to be the case, or thinking
especially when you kill the character off.
Yeah.
And it's not ambiguous. It's not one of those. I mean, it's very clear.
His body, it's like, no, he's just dead.
Dead, so.
Wow.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's have it. Jurassic Park, the original motion picture. What did you think?
I really liked it. I had a great time.
Hey.
Nice.
How did you feel about? Because there's a couple of people getting eaten in that movie.
It was not as bad as I expected.
Okay.
I definitely, for my entire life, I was just like, surely this is, terrifying and disturbing. But it really, I felt like they did a good job of like showing people getting eaten by dinosaurs, but like mostly not showing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The Lost World is the most brutal in terms of like what is and isn't on screen when it comes to deaths. I don't think anything after The Lost World ever really like topped kind of some of the more gruesome deaths in that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I will say I remember watching it the first time, remembering the Weird Al song, being like, "Oh yeah, someone let T-Rex out of his pen. A huge Tyrannosaurus ate their lawyer."
Just like the song.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Or there's things.
I'm so glad they made a movie of this song.
Never happened in the Sega game. Things like that. What did you like about it? What did you tell me? What you think?
Yeah, so like I definitely went in, and I'm gonna be honest, I was not sure how much I was gonna like this. Like I was excited to experience it because it's like such a thing that I hadn't experienced at all. But I was like, I feel like sometimes when you watch a movie that's like not like old, but like a little older, it just like doesn't quite read the same as it would have when you were watching in the first place. And I feel like sometimes that even if I'm like, yeah, I appreciate this, it's like it doesn't have quite the same zing. And so I was a little bit expecting that, and I was surprised by how much that was not the case. I was like, wow, the storytelling is great, and like the way they're setting it up, and like the dinosaurs look amazing, to the point that like I wasn't thinking like, oh, like look how good they're making the dinosaurs look. I was just like, oh, look, a dinosaur. And then kind of like afterward, I was like, wait, but those for sure were not real dinosaurs. Unless they're animatronics as previously discussed. So yeah, like I was really impressed by the effects, which like, I mean, like I've heard that talked about a lot. So like I kind of knew that was going to be good going in, but like, yeah, like just the pacing and the storytelling, I was like surprised by just like how enjoyable and just like a good time it was to watch and experience.
Yeah, I really think the effects do so much because they don't feel dated. Like it really gives it sort of timelessness. Yeah. That's pretty impressive going back. And they don't, like in Jaws, use Jaws as an example. Like out of necessity, they rarely show the shark, and so that also holds up. But here, like they're not hiding anything. Like you see everything, and it looks great.
It looks great. And I also I enjoyed the cast of characters too, like the Malcolm character and his just like being annoying and talking about math. And because I know things about math, that was maybe more fun for me than it would be for some other people.
I really, like, as a kid whose entire world was Jurassic Park movies, books, and games, like, I really thought chaos theory was like some kind of dangerous element in the world I had to be ready for.
That's so funny.
You know?
Santa.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like how when you're a kid, you're just like quicksand is a thing.
Everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Eric, does this warm your heart to know that? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if you ran across this, Allie, in your facts, but when like Spielberg was getting ready and the effects team were pitching it, it was being pitched as like stop motion animation with the dinosaurs originally. And on the DVDs and I assume Blu-rays, but I don't know where else, they have like the footage of them like working with the velociraptors and maybe one like the Gallimimus as like it would look, and it looks like really good stop motion, but it's just stop motion. Like it would have looked like Harryhausen. It would have looked like a Clash of the Titans.
There's no way to disguise that.
And Spielberg was like, we can't do this. And so the effects team, the video effects team were like, well, can we try this? And that's just what they went with. And then the claymation guys were actually working with the visual effects people to like move them so they could like map the movement.
Okay.
So that's where the whole I think we've just lost our jobs, don't you mean extinct came from. One of the claymation guys had said it. And Spielberg was like, say that again.
I'm listening. All right. So then you watch The Lost World.
Yes, which I also enjoyed, and I didn't think it was as good as the first one, but I was surprised by how good it was as a sequel. And I did really enjoy Malcolm being like more in the lead role, and like
you and my mom both.
Their dynamic. I was like that was fun and funny to me, and like his kid being there and him being like, oh my gosh, like there's just a lot of elements that I think are like like the situational stuff.
I don't have a lot of complaints about The Lost World, but you said that thing about Malcolm and his kid, and it just like this is the first time it connects. Like, where's the like twofer storyline of Malcolm having to deal with his kid and the T-Rex having to deal with his kid? Like, where's the scene where like they look at each other and go like parenting?
Yeah, that's true. They definitely could have highlighted that a little more.
Have to save Kelly. What was their name?
But I thought that was a fun kind of callback too, because like in the first movie, there's the kids there, and like I thought the whole thing with like Alan having to like learn to befriend the kids, like that was fun and heartwarming. But that scene where he's like talking to Malcolm and he's like, oh, whatever, do you like kids? And he's like, well, yeah, of course. Yeah, and I thought it was kind of a fun callback to then be like, yeah, and look, here's this kid.
Here's one, yeah.
Here is proof.
Yeah.
I said that joke about my mom, but it's true. My mom still does. She still has a huge crush on Jeff Goldblum, but she's had a crush on him since his Earth Girls Are Easy movie days.
Wow. Okay.
So like long time crush on Jeff Goldblum. So like, the mid 90s of like Independence Day and The Lost World was definitely like peak time to be a Jeff Goldblum fan.
Yeah, definitely.
So, that's really I don't know if he's ever looked as good before or after. So Allie, I gotta know, what did you think of that jump cut when the mom on the beach is screaming and it cuts and it's like, oh, is Ian Malcolm on the beach? No, he's in the subway.
I was disoriented by that. I was like, wait, what? Oh, okay.
That's a wild cut.
There was a wild cut. That was a wild cut. I think if I have a complaint about The Lost World, it's that
lots of people do, unfortunately.
Yeah. I feel like they were just trying to do like a little too much. Like when it was like, oh, San Diego and they're going to send the dinosaur. I was like, oh, okay. So Jurassic Park 3 is in San Diego. And then I was like, oh no, okay, we're doing that right now. And I thought that whole sequence was like really fun. And like the kid being like, there's a dino in the yard, and the dino just like drinking somebody's pool and stuff, like great times. But I was a little bit like, maybe that should have been the third movie.
A lot of complaints I hear come from San Diego stuff and Kelly using gymnastics to fight the Velociraptor.
That I had no issue with. I was a fan of that. I was like, yeah, girly pop's got to have a moment.
I don't really get why everybody's like, oh, I use gymnastics to fight dinosaurs. I'm like, okay, well, like every movie is stupid when you think about it. Like,
Yeah. Oh no, I mean like if your complaint about a movie where people have brought back dinosaurs to life from, their blood preserved in mosquitoes and amber is a kid used gymnastics effectively, I think, like
God forbid a woman have her hobbies, right?
Yeah. Well, I also thought it was fun because like in the first one, what's her name? Lex, I think the girl. She's like pretty annoying for the whole movie, but then she mentions like, oh, I like computers and I do hacking or whatever, and she gets to have her little moment at the end.
There we go.
Like, that's fun. And so then when they did the similar thing with what's her name, Callie or Kelly? Kelly. I was like, that's another fun like little moment of like girl who isn't able to, small child girl who isn't able to help that much for most of this movie has her moment where she gets to like use her little skill set. Like I think that's fun. I have no issue with that.
In the Jurassic World Lego game, in these scenes, when you play as Lex, her like special character power is that she cries and it shatters windows.
Oh my gosh. Super
sexist. But it's a thing that happens in those movies. For The Lost World, which is, as you know, not one of my favorites of the.
No.
I have to give it props for like doing something totally different and doing things that make sense. It's like, okay, now we have this. Let's bring in some good old fashioned like capitalism and bad ideas. Yeah. Like it's not just it's not just another, oh no, I tripped and I'm lost in the park again, you know, which is essentially what Jurassic Park 3 is, that just kind of
I think a lot of Lost World's strengths are due to the like character actors that Spielberg cast.
Yeah.
As as Roland and Ludlow, like they give those like characters that could be like generic and are kind of like generic hunters, capitalists kind of people, but like when he's giving that speech, he's like, I've been on too many safaris with rich dentists to listen to any more bad
that was a fun speech.
It's just like a great delivery and everything. So like you get these like really good character actors to bring life to kind of not that deep characters. Like Dieter isn't really much of a character, but he's great at playing that kind of like swaggering jerk drunk who gets his own comeuppance. So
well, you got Vince Vaughn, you got Julianne Moore. I mean, you know, it's a powerhouse cast. All right, Allie didn't watch number 3. How do you still don't like number 3, right? I mean, would you place that as your least favorite?
No, a new movie has replaced it. 3. Okay. So exciting. Another reason I also loved The Lost World is because when it comes to dinosaurs versus people, I'm there for the deaths. For the dinosaurs eating people and stuff. So to go from The Lost World where you have like how many of those hunters got eaten in the long grass?
Basically all of them, right?
Yeah. Don't forget, everybody who was staffing that boat also somehow died.
So you just have all this like great dino carnage, and then in Jurassic Park 3, they're like, well, here are 3 deaths, and then for the rest of the movie, none. And then like the best death of the movie gets reversed at the end.
Yeah.
But also, Eric, unfortunately, the character Eric in that movie is, I think, the most annoying of the Jurassic kids.
But see, that's confusing to me because, as we've established, your name is Eric, and you love these movies.
I'm aware.
So to have this Eric kid outsmarting the dinosaurs and adults and running around with his T-Rex urine and stuff, I mean, I'm surprised that you weren't like, it's me! I'm on the screen! But no,
not so much. And it makes a lot of stupid, like, people. You hate the boat thing with The Lost World. Like, how did he get all the people in the boat? Yeah. But, like, Jurassic Park 3, the Spinosaurus can break through the fence that was built to keep a Spinosaurus out. Sure. But then when they shut a door, the Spinosaurus can't get through the door.
Well, yeah. I mean, the silliest thing about 3 is that they really establish, like, the raptors just have regular conversations. They're just like you and me. And they have this, like... fossil that they blow into as it's to like replicate their language, and they use that over and over again, and it seems to just mean whatever they need it to mean in the moment.
Right.
And the raptors are like, oh, he blew in that thing, so I guess that means it's quitting time.
Yeah, like I can't say like, excuse me, where's the bathroom in Spanish without thinking I'm going to screw up every single word. Yeah. But somehow Alan Grant can just blow into this vocal thing. Yeah, and the raptors are like, he comes in peace.
Yeah, everyone back off. This guy's okay.
Yeah. All right. It's basically like if I bark at my dog isn't going to be like, oh, okay. Yeah. My dog is going to be like, what's going on?
Yeah. No, it raises more questions than it answers, for sure.
Allie, the biggest thing with Jurassic Park 3 is that they do that's where the aviary scene is. So they walk in and they're like, where are we? Oh, we're in a cage. And they realize they're in there with some pterodactyls. And then the other thing is that the Spinosaurus is now like the big bad. And the T-Rex is only in there for a little bit, and the Spinosaurus kills it. Breaks its neck, which isn't how a Spinosaurus's arms would work or how our T-Rex's neck would work, but whatever. So that's kind of like the big thing. And so some Jurassic Park fans have a big affection for like the Spinosaurus and keep wanting to see him show up again in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think that where 3 succeeds is that it's more just like a goofy action movie that you throw on.
It's only 90 minutes, yeah.
You know, whereas the first movie is like a film, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And by the time you get to 3, it's like, it's another dinosaur, run, you know?
Yeah.
Which I think there's fun to be had there, but it's definitely not like peak cinema. All right, gang, there's too much fun for one episode, so join us next week as we continue the conversation moving on to the Jurassic World trilogy. Eric will be back with us. We'll see you then.